Welcome back. Whether you were born here or moved here, we all have a strong opinion of Sydney. But that might change in the next few minutes. Our city is anything but average. We're the nation's youngest capital. Women outnumber men. We're also the most devout, the most diverse and so much more. So here's the real and very surprising Sydney.
Sydney, the place we call home, Australia's economic powerhouse.
We're adding almost 90,000 people to our city every single year.
We've been growing like topsy.
The fastest growing city in the country.
Back 50 years ago, Sydney had just hit 2 million people. We're going to finish next year at 5 million people. The changing face of Sydney has been phenomenal.
I didn't grow up here in Sydney. My hometown was Tamworth. But when I first moved here almost 25 years ago, like most newcomers, I thought this place was amazing.
In its heart, there is scarcely a street without some building activity. New, tall buildings. Tear into it, knock it down and build something new and bigger.
That was then. This is now. So what will be our future? Mark Makrand is Australia's leading demographer. He loves statistics almost as much as this city. And what he's found is a fascinating and complex landscape where old ways and old attitudes are disappearing.
We used to have this almost cringe of, this part of the city is better than that part of the city, and people would be perhaps embarrassed if they weren't closer to where the action was. That's all changed. People in Greater Western Sydney embrace that as their moniker, proud of being a Westie.
Migration is also changing Sydney as the city's newest citizens form new tribes in its oldest suburbs. South Africans have embraced Dover Heights, the Chinese Chatswood and Hurstville. It's Little Lebanon in Mount Lewis, Little England in Manly, a lot of Vietnam in Cabramatta, and the Maltese have made Arndell Park their own. Sydney is a mini United Nations.
Now the number one surname in the Parramatta White Pages is Patel.
Our smartest suburb is Birchgrove, where 1 in 6 has a degree. Our same-sex suburb is the CBD itself, where 1 in 10 is lesbian or gay. Balmain has the highest proportion of women to men, yet Pyrmont, just next door, is the exact opposite. Kenthurst loves cars, almost 3 for every household. St Ives pays the most rent, and Potts Point reports the longest working week.
And when it comes to work, the CBD is no longer the city's undisputed top dog. Sydney is undergoing an opportunity revolution, with entrepreneurial hotspots sprouting up just about everywhere.
You've got the media and communications hubs around Surrey Hills and Ultimo, and high tech emerging in areas of Parramatta and even out in Penrith. It's not all just happening in the CBD alone.
Darlington near Redfern has the highest percentage of unmarried bicycle-riding atheists. They worship lycra more than religion, but 15 kilometres away, it's a different story, from the godless to the God-fearing.
Auburn, which now has the number one religion is Islam, it's actually the largest suburb, 33,000 people.
Citywide, Christianity remains Sydney's biggest faith. But it's our multitude of religions that make this city Australia's most devout. In Horsley Park, 97% believe in a God. Kemps Creek is 69% Catholic. Dover Heights, 48% Jewish. Grays Point is a third Anglican. Yennora, a third Hindu. And more than 50% of Landsvale is Buddhist. As for evangelical Sydney, well, they're on the move.
You've got the shift of the Bible Belt, which used to be in the Hills District, and now it's shifted down to the Shire.
Sydney has many faces, but what binds us, the one thing we all have in common, is this often complex, always beautiful, ever-changing city.
Sydney is a very diverse place, but I think in that diversity, in that difference, is a great sense of strength. We all come together as Aussies and as Sydneysiders. I think that's why so many people, almost 5 million of us, call the city home.
And demographer Mark Makrand will be online from 7 p.m. to answer your queries about the changing face of Sydney. Just go to our Facebook page to post your questions.